Wow. Wow. Disappointing is a word that I would use to describe American film. I mean American Skin by Mr. Nate Parker. Some constructive moments for sure, but racist suspect, white supremacist surviving while the black male is shot dead is no bueno. Definitely does not produce justice or constructive thinking for the people who are watching this movie, I believe.
Yeah, it's a movie where the redemption arc is the white man. The white man is redeemed at the end. The white race soldier. That was a really bad film.
Wow, very disappointing film. Sad, very disappointing.
Um,
Yeah, it's over.
The concept is very interesting.
yeah, the concept
but
was.
they didn't execute.
Yeah, Yep.
Everything like
Literally didn't execute.
Yeah, literally did not execute the white supremacists. I remember watching Man on Fire, and white people were saying a life for a life. You know, that was the theme of that movie, a life for a life. So why can't this white man pay for his life with the life he took? You know, according to racist logic.
When did you watch Men on Fire?
Back in the day, I just remember that. I just remember. Yeah.
That movie had me crying over
a white woman, a white child. Yeah.
Crying for a white child. It was crazy.
That's right. I know you crying for that movie, bro. White Supremacy 101 right there.
Yeah, I do. It's the first movie that ever made me cry in my whole life.
But American Skin, Black Skin, yikes. Confusion, to see. I was hoping that Nate Parker did not produce another movie where like the racist suspects are being forgiven, which is not constructive.
Yeah, I love Nate Parker as a writer director. I'm really disappointed in this most recent film, An American Skin. There's no reason that those white supremacists should have lived towards the end of the film. I do think this film has set up a plot where it was, I guess, righteous for him to kill the cop because they're doing their own brand of the judicial system. They're doing their own brand of justice. Therefore, I think the letting the murderer of his son go away was a very, very, very sad, and just another example of white supremacy winning, where you see victims of white supremacy forgiving, becoming friends, or having some type of bond with their oppressors and their attackers and their conquerors, and it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hypocritical that he preaches that like black people always gotta turn the other cheek and not use violence. But what does he do? He turns the other cheek and he doesn't use violence.
Yeah.
The racist suspect gets to go home to his racist family and potentially harm and mistreat more black people in the future.
Yeah, I feel like this movie is made for white people because I don't
No,
understand what a black
definitely.
person would get from this movie. One, he sacrifices. He doesn't kill the person. He ends up dying anyway. So what do you get from it as a black person? How are you supposed to approach the situation of your child being murdered by the police? It doesn't make any sense unless it's for white people to be like, oh, this white man can be redeemed. He just has to like see black people as human or something, and then he'll understand. It's not for black people at all because it leaves you hopeless and it leaves you feeling like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I have no options.
Yeah.
A Queen and Slim moment. This film is, I just want to second that. I just want to say this film is non-constructive for black people.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this and you were thinking about watching American Skin, I can save you right now. This film is constructive for you. It is something that will have you feeling sad, uncomfortable, enraged, and helpless throughout.
I mean, and the only person who suffers is the
black people.
older black person who was trying to help the white guy, the white cop. He's the one that gets shot. I don't even know if he dies or not.
No, we don't learn. I don't think he died, but it just well, what Trey said. The movie is very very non-constructive. Like there's no goal to produce justice, and Nate Parker's character Lincoln Jefferson should have instead of being murdered at the end, I think it would have been much more constructive for him to do a maximum compensatory emergency act, which is like kill the officer and then possibly himself. But no, but instead he gets killed by race soldiers, police officers, after he like saves and lets the white racist suspect who killed his son live. You know, reminder, black male whose son was murdered by a police officer gets a chance to get revenge,
knowing he's gonna die.
Yeah, like justice, like a black male refusing to get revenge is just
it's castration.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It's a show of black males being powerless, and when they do have the capacity, or when they are in a position to like get revenge or like get some sort of justice, he refuses to. Black male retardation and black male castration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Also, like in cinema, there's often this themes of black men forgiving their white counterparts, or black males dying for their white counterparts. It's such a infectious phenomenon in cinema, and it just really sucks to see that infiltrating Nate Parker's work. I mean, his last film was literally about black liberation through Nat Turner, and that film has some issues as well. But this film is just a catastrophe of like, this film is made like Ash said earlier. This film is made for white people. It's very clear. And it's also made to, and if it is made for black people, the goal is to make them docile and complacent.
Like with the Nat Turner thing in that movie, when he dies at the hands of white people, it makes sense because that's the historical context. You can't change it. But this one, to know that Nate Parker had the creative freedom to do whatever, and just to come up with that type of ending, I feel like is just, wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's trying to get in back in the good graces of white media or something, because they like.
I think so. I saw a lot of. I think so. Because I saw a lot of what I would call like white symbolism throughout the film, like hand signs and like gestures. So I do think he's trying to get back into the quote unquote white Hollywood, to call it whatever you want to call it. You know, he's trying to get back in their graces, because this film, like, if a white person wrote this, it would be Oscar nominated. You know, yeah. If a white person made this film, it would get Oscars. I'm telling y'all right now.
Yeah, I think Trey, you're right that this film is. I am seeing a lot of black people, non-white people, like praise this film and say how good it is, but it's just making it more docile and more complacent and white supremacy. It's gonna produce a more turn the other cheeks mentality, and then like the part in the film where Nate Parker character Lincoln Jefferson says that don't even think about like hurting the police, don't even think about like killing the police. That is the kind of mentality this film is producing, I believe. Like, don't think that the police are your enemy. Don't think that they're here to harm you. They're actually looking for the bad guys. But in the system of race and white supremacy, the so-called bad guys are non-white people who are
primarily black males.
Yep.
Primarily black males.
Yeah, primarily black males. and just the lack of
Yeah, and he said he literally planned it from the beginning that no cop would be killed. So
Right, that
it's
shit was.
like, what was the whole point of this? You want to scare cops into like they don't care. They've been trained for a month for their whole lives to do this type of work to kill you. Do you think that this one instance is going to change any of them? And then the guy, like the white cop crying and all that stuff, I was like, this is not realistic unless he's crying as a form of manipulation, because I know this white cop does not feel any sympathy for killing that black child. Like, I don't buy it. Like, they constantly are trained to like do this type of stuff and not give a fuck. Like, they're heartless. So I don't buy that whole scene where he was like crying and super emotional. Like, it was just so, and then like the fact that the conduit for like this whole story is told. I mean, I only watched towards the end, but it seems like it's told through this middle class black filmmaker or whatever, like as if he's supposed to be like the middle point because he understands both sides or something, and we're supposed to take his view, and it's like, what? Like, this guy is
like,
more confused than anyone else.
Yeah,
Like,
and like the film does a good job of mentioning like all the racist talking points about how like we are it's not like a race division, it's a class division, but according to code and according to logic, there are only three classes of people. That's non-white people, and that's the racist suspects, and that's white supremacists. That's it. Ain't no middle class, upper class, or lower middle. Ain't none of that according to logic. And also the black on black, white on white rhetoric that is often pushed. They mentioned that, which is also I don't know, that was constructive, but you know, what did they replace it with? Not producing justice or any sort of code.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really sad that Lincoln Jefferson thought that he could have this white cop lead him to safety and not have his life, because I really do believe that he thought he would live. You know.
Yeah, I think he definitely knew he was gonna die.
No, I thought he was gonna survive and live, and because he said,
oh wow,
because to his cousin he says, I'll do whatever time they give me, and I'll meet you on the other side, blah blah blah.
Oh, you're right.
So I do believe that he thought he was gonna survive, and I thought that he thought that he was gonna get like a moment to speak. But he was confused. He was really unaware of like. I mean, I don't know how he could be unaware. He went to war. Like all the people, all the people I know who go to war, they know what's going on. I have a friend. I'm not gonna say his name. He went to war. He told me he is trained to kill. He is trained to hate these people. He says he is trained to kill on sight. It's all these things. So this black male should be very aware that it doesn't matter if he comes outside with his hands up. It doesn't matter if he comes out with the other cops. He's dead. So I'm really agree with SWAT. I wish I'm not really sure the term SWAT used, but I wish a little compensatory emergency.
Maximum emergency compensatory action.
Yeah,
maximum emergency compensatory action. That should have happened.
And I agree about the whole, like, he was in the military. I know that he had to have killed a lot of so-called brown people. So I'm very confused as to why the act of killing this person is just like something that he cannot do.
Because he's white.
It's very it's wild, like very brainwashed.
Yeah, brain poison. I categorize this movie and for the film review portion as brain poison, like most films under the system of racism and white supremacy, brain poison that will further your love towards racism and white supremacy, further your affection and just how much we care and want white people to succeed and continue dominating us. This is the kind of poison this movie is spreading. You know,
I agree.
Like not all bad cops are not all cops are bad. You know,
Yeah, and it's like it's supposed to like diametrically oppose like the people who are in jail or prison are on one side, the cops are on the other, as if they're like equal opposites or something. And then Nate Parker is like the person in the middle who is like the the middle class black person who tried to do right or something.
Yeah.
But it's like no, like those people who are in prison are also like a subjugated class. They don't have any power. Like it was just weird. I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah, it's sad. Um, my film review portion, well, I guess all of it has been reviewed. I this is definitely a miss for me. I am very disappointed in Nate. I'll probably be sending him an email about this. Like, is there another cut or something? Like, what happened? What? I mean, this could have been a solid. Hey, have you seen the spook step by the door? It could have been a solid one of those. But
Yeah, I agree.
but it's definitely not.
Yeah, like I really hope that Omar like Hardwick's character will like really get like some justice, like maybe go out taking out some white supremacists, but I guess he's just gonna die by cancer, and it's just like just really non-destructive ending. The movie is destructive because it's spreading poison, it's spreading that hey, this person with a badge and a gun can be my friend, can be my protector. Not the case at all, according to logic.
And also, what about all those other cops that were in there? Like, none of them changed. So the work you did, all of that to sacrifice your life, was for one cop who you potentially think changed, but most likely didn't. It just there's like 5 other cops there. It's dumb.
And one more thing, not one more thing. Something else I wanted to say. Um, well, oh yeah, so yeah, and throughout the film, we see two black males murdered on film, and not a single oppositional force is killed. So it's pretty disheartening again. I mean, the same thing with Slim and Queen of Slim. Throughout the movie, black people are getting blasted.
Yeah.
Black people.
I mean, he let a cop go. The white cop that shot the old guy.
Yeah.
But so is that excusable? Like they don't need a trial for that for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
and even the fact that they did a trial and are basing the trial on the white supremacist law.
Yeah.
Like it's just so like it's this idea that the law is actually on your side and you can use it to convict someone. Like no, the law is racist. Like.
Yeah.
Very, very racist.
Yeah. Should we move into closing comments?
Yeah, but let's also talk about the black female in a character. There's two that have speaking lines and are somewhat human beings. So you have his wife, who plays like she's supposed to play like the rational, moral person. Our son's already dead. There's nothing you can do. Just come home. Just survive. And that conversation really should have went, do what you have to do, babe, or do what you have to do, king. Whatever terminology, whatever nickname she wanted to throw out there. Do what you have to do, because this needs to stop. This needs to end. And if you think this is gonna help, then do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna do it. I think, and then having all the black people always get emotional and say, "Oh, you killed my cousin. You gonna shoot me too?" Like always showing the black people in very antagonizing roles. Of course, it's an emotional thing that happened, but I would like to see black people codified in these imaginary films. so we can imagine Black people, somebody being codified, and asking questions. Are you going to shoot me? Is it in your code of ethics to shoot Black people? What are you really trained to do? Are you really trained to see Black people as criminals and kill them? Just ask real questions. Now, are you gonna shoot me in my house, in my auntie house? What the heck? Yes. To answer your question, kid, yes, the pig will kill you anywhere you are. Yes.
Yeah, I want to comment on the Black female because that is something that racist men and racist women do. When like a police terrorist attack happens, they will get the Black they will attempt to get the mother's child, the child's mother on TV to like, forgive and like move on. And just because that's a reality, Nate Parker didn't have to put that in this film. He could have had a more logical Black female who was like, no, I'm tired of, turning the other cheek. I'm tired of saying that we're okay with our kids dying. But instead, she's like, we're just trying to we're trying to get over it. Is what I got from what she was saying. And totally non-constructive way of going of supporting Nate Parker as well. I would say all of the Black females are in the film are pretty non-constructive, but that's the system of racism and white supremacy for you.
And you know what? This actually reminded me of a moment I had when I was being critiqued for a draft of An American Story. And the original ending of the film was Malcolm killing the cop and then killing himself, before getting arrested. That was the ending. And then I'm the only Black person in this class. I'm surrounded by like 8 students, including the professor. All but 2 are now white. And they're all saying me, "Oh, you can't kill the cop," or like, "No one's gonna like the main character if he kills the cop." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, like, what is? I think this is what he should do. This is what I would do. It makes sense. But no, I eventually wanted to quote unquote. Well, this is what I thought what I was doing. I wanted to save Malcolm's soul by not having him killed. But now I understand that was just confused trying to make a movie.
Yeah, and you were also like manipulated and deceived into changing your ending by white people who are much more smarter than you at the time.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, like I once thought.
Like this one, I put the imagery in there. I at least showed him. Yeah. But yeah, that's not in this film at all.
Agreed.
And this is what people watch the trailer are expecting to see.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to see. And on right now, Rotten Tomatoes, it has an audience review percentage of 97%, which tells us a lot of people are just seeing this, who are just accepting this brain poison and not thinking seriously about what they're consuming and what messages are being given to them. And the messages I see in this film is like, yeah, the only life that does not matter is the life of the Black male and the Black female, as far as I'm concerned. And cops will continue to kill non-white people, especially Black people, until the system is replaced. Because these band-aids that we attempt to put on a problem, like the band-aid that Nate Parker's character attempted to put on the band-aid by just talking the racism out of the cop, is not going to work. It's not. That's an example of this insanity we've been participating in for a couple of thousand years now.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to. I highly suspect that the majority of those reviews are written by people who have computers who are predominantly going to be classified as white. So I highly suspect that this is something that would quite, be more than be happy to see, because they're unwilling to understand the significance of the like the manipulation of this film. Like countless Black males are killed by the system of white supremacy every single day. And in the film, it captures the deaths of 2 Black males without any justice being done. You know, all we see is the continued narratives of forgiveness, turn the other cheek, forgiveness. Then, like someone mentioned earlier that how the old guy was going to help the cop, and the cop took his gun and shot him. And then there's nothing done about that situation. So it's just a lot of Black males attempting to be constructive in a very confused manner.
Mm. Well said. Well said. Do you want to adjourn?
Yeah, I want to say I want to say something off record.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. For those who made it this far, we don't ask much, but maybe like this video, subscribe. Either way, we don't care. Produce justice. Oh, our Patreon. We do care about that. Patreon.
Support our Patreon and like and subscribe. Listen to it while you're cooking, while you're doing things that are productive. Replace this with your music.
Well said.